on the station because my studio computer completely froze. So up to yesterday, we had to do a full rebuild, which was a bit of a nightmare, but it all worked out in the end. Anyway, thanks for coming on the show.
No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, obviously, for people who have just joined us, if you're listening on the station, this is part of the Duggystone Radio Introducing. We're talking to artists, bands from all over the place and giving them a platform to, get out there. And it's nice to get behind the scenes and talk to people. So anyway, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. Well, I'm Malissa Whitehouse. I have a single out this week called Dear Diary that came out on Monday. And here I am with the wonderful Kirk, and it's all going really, really well. So it's been an eventful week so far. Yeah, good to sit down and talk to you, actually.
Yeah, we can talk offline. Just not a problem. Anytime, I'll give you a number if you want. But we see you've been busy. You've been all over the place, haven't you, promoting your single?
There's just been tons. Obviously, we had the launch with the Loving You track at Christmas, which was just amazing, and obviously hit Heritage and went in the top 10. So from that, obviously, it gave me the opportunity to kind of release my solo single, which I was actually going to do before Loving You. And obviously that came along, and I thought it would be out of the charts by kind of like Christmas time, so we released in September. And then we done a Christmas mix, and it went on and on and on, which was amazing. And then obviously on Christmas week, it charted top 10 at number 6. So, wonderful. And here we are now. So yeah, in March, and with the new single.
Wonderful. Well, I've got both of them lined up, and there was another track. I think Janice is behind the scenes because there was some other tracks she wanted to play, right? And I've got the 2 videos, which we'll do one in a minute.
Brilliant.
Might start with a Christmas one, and then there's some other tracks. So hopefully, as we go through the show, that information will come to me. I won't go into all the details where I've not got it, but we'll get that in a minute. Just so you're aware, when the videos are playing, everything will be off screen, so you'll be all right. We'll just be having the videos on and stuff like that. That's fine. And I must say, you've got a rather nice kitchen there.
Oh, thank you very much. I like my cooking. I like my cooking in the kitchen, a bit Nigella.
I'm liking that a lot. So
you're welcome. You can come to dinner anytime you want, Kirk.
I'm round. I'm coming. Don't worry. Excellent.
And Janice, come round.
Well, Janice is in Madeira, but maybe we go and visit. We're going to have to visit Madeira, aren't we? We're going to have to go and see her.
Oh,
yeah, wonderful.
Got it done.
Wonderful. I'll tell you what we'll do. Whilst it all starts warming up, we'll get the. I think what we'll do. We'll not play your single just yet. I think we'll start off with the one you've done. This one, "Loving You," with Daniel James. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
The one. So we're going to cue this video. Is there any story behind it, or is it, was you just collaborating? Is there a story behind the track?
I've known Daniel, since I was 16, 17, when I first started working at No Miss Recording Studio in London, which was obviously my first kind of like runner's job, really, working with Jeff Chegwin. He was looking after Lindy Layton, and obviously with Dub Be Good To Me, and obviously all of the other kind of acts that he looked after, including Yell, which obviously Daniel was part of. And one of my good friends run the fan club, so I got an opportunity to kind of meet Daniel whilst I was working there. And we've always kind of crossed paths over the years with writing and different events and things. And we kept saying, we'll work together one day, we'll get round to it. And we finally did. And Loving You was obviously what was the creation, really. We went in the studio, decided to do a kind of cover, which was challenging because we didn't know what to do. And obviously it's a bit of a sacred track, but we did it, and obviously it charted and it done really well. So that was really the story behind it.
There you go. Well, that's the story behind it. We'll cue the VT up and we'll be right back after this.
Fantastic.
Loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful. Making love with you is all I wanna do. Do you know how it feels? Do you know how it feels? loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful.
Wow.
Making love with
That is a big number to cover and a massive track. And I think, well, I don't think, I know you've done that justice. That's wonderful. That's an absolutely. I like it's really upbeat as well. It's a fantastic track. Love it.
Yeah, I could see your head wobbling around there, Kirk. You were getting in the mood, weren't you? You were there.
My head's always wobbling, but no. I know, wobble your head.
It was great. It was like we had a new pop video then, because you were syncing to Daniel's parts, and I could see your head wobbling. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, well,
very clever.
I do occasionally sing to tracks, but I can't sing, but I do sing. So I ruin.
You did a very good job. It was very impressive. Could anyone else see that then?
No. Hey, but just go and find some of your stuff.
Exclusive.
Because I'm not.
Seriously, I should have recorded it on my phone.
You should have done. But I love that track, and I'm glad we started with that. It's a big number to cover, and I liked it. I like the composition. I thought it was really good and wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, classic track. I have got the other track that you wanted. I think it was Soul to Soul, Back to Life. So I'll have that lined up in a bit as well.
Wonderful, thank you.
And that's good because they are on Summerfest in May, which I'm covering. I'm covering that, so I'm there. I'm going to be
fantastic. I'm
going to do my best Dennis Pennis, as my wife calls me, and pestering all the artists. That's what I'm going to be doing. So they've told me I can do what they want, and they shouldn't have said that. Anyway, so if you just joined us,
give them free reign now. You're going to be everywhere.
They don't know what I'm like. So anyway, this is about Malissa Whitehouse, who we've got on, and we've been looking forward to this. It's been, and you've done thanks very much, because you've done loads in the background, loads of promoting, which is great. Sometimes people just expect to pitch up and expect everyone else to do it. So when people and artists get involved and do that, that's great. And obviously that's probably because you've your experience as well, because you've got a experience over the last 15 or so years. And you were at 16 finalists on Songwriter of the Year, I've been told. Is that right?
Yeah, my friend entered this song that I'd done it was a summer track called Summertime Lover. It was a bit cheesy looking back now, but she entered it in the competition, and she said to me, I think you'll do really well with it. It's got a really good hook and everything. I was like, oh, fine. So she sent it off. And then about 2 weeks later, I got a call to go to the Houston Capital Radio, like the Rocking Tower thing that they used to have then. It was all the kind of Pat Sharp, Pat Mick, and those days. And so at 16, it was like, oh, this is really cool. So I went up, didn't really think much of it that I'd get much further. And then I kind of got down to the last 100, down to the last 50. Then there was another callback. Then I didn't hear anything. And then I got a call to say, you're down to the last 5. Can you come and sing in front of all of the judges? Which was a bit kind of like, it was like Chris Tarrant and obviously kind of the other DJs. I think it was Neil Fox and that. So it was a bit like an X Factor kind of like panel thing. And I got shortlisted and then got to perform at the Piazza in Covent Garden, which was fantastic. And then came second. Damn, second. So, so close, Kirk. It was so close.
Yeah, well, see, after all this time, it doesn't matter, because you can just say, I was Songwriter of the Year. No one's going to check.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Just...
That was me.
No, she wasn't. No, that is fantastic. It's and there's some big names there. And the other thing that I've been trying to find it, and there's got to be a clip somewhere. You launched your first album on the Word, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Basically, that was a cover version. Again, this was me kind of trying to be a bit of a brave 16-year-old, where you used to kind of like have to send things in the post by carrier pigeon in those days. Yeah. So I got the biggest envelope. I mean, like, you know, the monstrous envelopes that you used to be able to get. And I literally put like this tiny demo tape that big in this huge envelope, sent it to the Word. And the following week, the executive producer called me and he said, we wondered what the hell was in the envelope, but obviously we were intrigued. We thought it might be something dangerous, but it was you, which is kind of dangerous. And he said, look, we've got a slot on Friday night. Do you want to come down to Limehouse Studios? We'll send a car. And I was like, yeah. I'm thinking 16, just finished my day at school and whatever. Got a few of my friends to rock up in the limousine like a celebrity. And got down to Limehouse, and the executive producer said, you do realise that you're actually standing in tonight for the slot that LL Cool J, he's not been able to get the flight over from the States.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, like I've gone hardly no makeup, not the right clothes on, not organised. I'm thinking, oh my God. And literally Katie Puckrick and Terry Christian came out and introduced themselves, which were obviously a bit starstruck, and like, oh my God. They said, you're on in an hour, are you okay doing this live? So the audience was rammed in there, about 200 strong, and and that was it. Kind of done the performance.
Wow. And
managed to get through it and then got my first management deal off there, and obviously didn't kind of stop from there, really.
That's awesome. I mean, because that show back in the day the word was phenomenal. It was a great.
I loved it.
You know, you could do a show like that. You'd struggle to do a show like that now, but that's a great story, isn't it? That's a fantastic story.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, because when the show finished, this lady came up to me with the kind of the Madonna headset on and the clipboard. She said, can you sign here? I was like, what for? And she said, because you're going to get paid. You've just been on TV. And I'm like, paid? Oh my God, I earn money doing this.
Excellent.
And it gave me a check, and obviously that was obviously for a clearance thing, and that was it. Got home at 2 a.m, woke my parents up, and was just like, oh my God, I've made it, you know, because you're young, it's all new, and it was amazing. So that was it. Once I had that moment, it was like, I'm not letting go of this.
Yeah.
So I persevered.
We need to find that clip somewhere. It's got to be there somewhere in the
I have got the clip. The video was actually found, not last weekend, the weekend before. It's been hidden for many years. And my parents have finally moved after 48 years of being in the same house. And we found it in one of the boxes. So I'm going to try and get it uploaded this week, so you will see it.
You've got to get that on YouTube and send us a link. Because really, when we first connected, I went searching. She's on the word.
Oh, bless you.
I've got to go and find that.
I went searching.
I've got to go and find that. I've got to find it somewhere. And I was like, nothing.
It was like 48 years of my parents like rubbish in boxes. And all of a sudden it was just there. And I thought, meant to be. So yeah, that will be shared shortly.
Yeah. And when you do share it, you need to tag it, you need to put the hashtag LL Cool J.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I don't think my performance was anything like his was going to be.
Let's get one thing right. You were there. He wasn't.
I was there, and he wasn't.
Exactly. Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
I showed up for the gig.
Exactly. So you've been in the business. You worked at Capital Radio for programming. What was that? So was you sorting out the programs for Capital Radio?
Yeah, so I was working as the PA to Richard Park. So obviously the head of programming for Global. So obviously involved with all the DJs day to day, the scheduling, radar, everything. So, and it was great because they also had the in-house record label with Wildstar, which obviously gave me opportunity to see how artists such as Craig David's was launched, and obviously we done the album with Born to Do It. Then we had Mystique, and it was fantastic. Connor Reeves, some really, really good names coming through that were kind of doing well in the charts at the time. So for me, being young and kind of seeing everything kind of firsthand, and seeing how the radio side was dealing with the labels and the labels with the pluggers, it was just great to be in the thick of it. Really, really interesting. So that really gave me the kind of the knowledge really to kind of go forward and to know how kind of the day-to-day running of things work. Because I think sometimes as an artist, you kind of get lost, like you were saying earlier. You want to get a song out, you get the song out, and it's like, it's all going to happen. And it doesn't. It literally can die a death. You've got to get the right kinds of planning with your promotions and everything behind it.
Yeah, there's lots of, because it's a tough gig, isn't it? The music industry. Because we focus a lot on emerging artists and unsigned emerging, whatever you want to call it. And there's some phenomenal acts out there, and you think, what they should make. If they don't make it, there's something quite wrong, and they might never make it, even though they're amazing. Creatives, singers, artists. It's really frustrating. It's frustrating for people like us, and must be terrible for artists that I've got this product, if you want, that's fantastic, and it's not getting out there. It's horrible. Yeah.
And it's over concentrate. There's so many good acts out there, and some of them haven't got the know-how of breaking into the industry or getting their first job. I was very I think it was out of, just trying to think, I think it was 80 people that I got that job out of when I went for that interview, and they literally kept coming back and forth from the agency, and I knew that I wanted to work in there to kind of learn the ropes. So I persevered and persevered, kept calling, no, they haven't made a decision. And then finally got that break to kind of get through the door. But so many artists and people that I've met along on the journey have all kind of come from somewhere. I also got the chance to work at MTV too. But I was quite tenacious and very determined, and kind of like, I kind of like you, talking to everyone and doing my thing and kind of networking. It's just network. That's the way to do it. No one in my family was musical. My dad always says, because he was a choir boy, that I took this kind of journey in life. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, all right.
That's
all right,
claim to fame, Dad. Like,
yeah.
we won't tell anybody that. No,
All right,
keep that
quiet. and where's your hit single, Dad? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't please, because he'll call in and start singing to you, Kirk. I'm quite confident, but he's overly confident. It's like, a bit kind of like, no, Dad, don't do it.
I wish I was confident. I just struggle with this.
You are very shy. I did notice that you were shy when you were singing and dancing earlier.
To be fair though, if you ask people that knew me when I was like younger, 16 to 20, and I've done stuff, and they go, "Kirk, all right." Do you know what I mean? So I think what you're talking about as well, and the experience and confidence, you can build on that. So people look at what other people are doing and going, "Oh, I could never do that." You can. It's practice. It's having having those guts to go and do it, and then build on your confidence. So,
yeah, and it's within as well. My son's 15, and bless his heart, the other day said, "Oh, Mum," he said, "it's really cool what you've done recently with that track." He said, "I think you should be doing drill music because that's a bit more edgy, but it's pretty cool." And I just thought, oh, bless his heart. But he gets homeworks and things come home like for drama and music, and he's like, "Oh, it's boring." He's so at the other end of the spectrum to me, where I'm like, I can sing, I can dance, I want to do everything. So I love it when the homeworks come home for GCSE and things like that. He's just like, "Oh God, Mum, no, not another music homework." I'm like, "Let's write a song."
Yeah, unless it comes back with an F on it, and then you'll be going into the teacher. Why have you given him an F? That's absolutely brilliant. But my youngest lad's 20, and he's got me really. Some of the music that I play now I've been influenced by him. You know what I mean? He's been influenced by some of my old music. But I do like some of the. I'm not into some of the drill, but I can appreciate some of it as well as some really good artists.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
they call him Uncle Tony, which is Tony Matthew from obviously the Soul to Soul camp. Obviously, he was doing their kind of sound engineering when I met him in '88. Amazing. He's just worked with so many artists as well. He actually bought Archie recently his first speakers and cans, and basically said, "Get on GarageBand, do some loops, do some beats and whatever." And he has started, and he's started to really enjoy it. So, and it's different from him being out doing the normal kind of kid stuff when they want to be out in the streets doing stuff and whatever. We live in the countryside, we're at the back of Beyond, but everything's still accessible, and obviously you care as a parent. So it's good knowing that they can do stuff like that indoors as well. So
it's about you, but also in the studio here we had Tom Butler, who's my son's friend, and he did 2 live gigs from here mixing, and so he did drum and bass, and now he's got so he did 2 streams from here, but he's in a competition now to do a year's residence.
I thought you said then Tom the butler. I thought, gosh, you're posh, Kirk.
No, I'm the butler, the gardener, and everything. Don't worry about that, butler.
Someone was going to come and pour you champagne in a minute. Gosh.
I could.
That's so cool though. So when is he doing this competition? Is this all happening now?
He's through. He's done the first. He's through the first stage. He's up to the finals. But while I was mentioning it, if your lad gets his bumming gear, because I know what they're like at 15, and gets some music playing, send it to us, and we'll get it out there. And if he gets the confidence up, we can live stream him through here and put him onto. You know what I mean? That's what he needs to do. So anyway, it's not about him, but I'm quite passionate about the young people coming through and doing the stuff.
Absolutely, and the talent they've got, literally, especially after COVID. So many people, like even myself, after all these years, I've always relied on other producers and people, and I've got all these ideas. I don't play an instrument. I hear all of the different component parts. I go in the studio and I boss everyone around, and then they put all of the kind of sounds together. I'm like, that's it, great. But when COVID hit and I couldn't go to the studio, I was just thinking, God, I'm getting so frustrated. I need to do something. So I finally set my own studio up at home and realised that I had actually been lazy for a period of time. I know I can't do everything, But it's been great to actually be at home and then sending vocals off and whatever. And that literally has kind of kickstarted so many things, especially with the album and projects that I'm writing on at the moment. There's just been so much more happen. But it took something as awful as that to make me stop and realise that I wasn't doing certain things I should have been doing.
Yeah. Yes, same as we were ahead the curve because we was already all in home studios because our presenters are from down in Cornwall right through to Scotland. We've got them in the States, Russia. We've got presenters everywhere. So we were already remote. But then when it did hit, the platforms that we're on now on Mixcloud, and you're probably watching us on YouTube, we were investigating doing something ourselves, and because of COVID, it pushed it forward. So it's allowed a lot of home during all the COVID, a lot of home DJs, presenters, whatever, creatives to actually get out there and put music out. Say what we'll do. You've been name dropping a bit, soul to soul, all that sort of stuff. So I think we'll have the track that you requested, which is it
Back to Life?
Back to do you know what? I just looked up then. I thought,
that's the memory. That was meeting Tony Matthews. I believe it was 1988 when I first met him at the Camden Studios, and I think they just literally just kind of like dropped the track and things were just going whoosh. And I think it was when Jazzy had all the fantastic kind of clothing merchandise, and it was also hip and cool in Camden. So that was really good.
Right, well, without further ado, let's get Soul to Soul on, and we'll be right back speaking to Melissa. Where's the volume? There you go. We're on now. Oh, love it. Love it. Was in the moment then. Classic Soul to Soul, who are going to be appearing at Summerfest, and I'm hopefully going to be sticking a microphone in the face and having a chat with them. That's the plan anyway. Lovely track. I love that. Lovely.
It's superb. That brings back such good memories. I love that song.
Yeah, and for me, it's like doing this, what we're doing. I've always been passionate about, I can't sing, can't play music, but I've always been passionate about music. And to think years ago, listening to that track, that potentially in a couple of months I'm going to be stood in front of them, potentially talking to them, is like...
That's going to be such a big thing with that Summerfest. It's amazing, isn't it, what they've put on for that? Huge. It
is, and the Sunday is, the Sunday, Maxi Priest, you've got UB40 on, you've got Dub Defenders, it's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Anyway, back to you, back to life, back to reality, back to you. Yeah. So are you currently writing for? See, what I've got to be careful of here, because Janice is our street team, and she started putting in false questions. So last time I told the band they were touring, and it was a complete fabrication. So if any of these, I never know, she might stick the odd one in. But anyway, it says you're writing for the X Factor at the minute. Is that right? The Voice and the X Factor.
That's right. I certainly am. Yeah. So that came. Oh gosh, just trying to think. About a year and about 3 months ago, started kind of writing for like 2 or 3 different artists that have come through. Slow process. We have got the tracks done. Some have gone out to Europe, and that they're in kind of progressive states where some are doing albums, some are kind of looking into other projects they're doing. So one single was meant to have been released earlier on this year, but that didn't happen because it's now gone into an album project. So that's put a delay on it. But I got the phone call from my publisher, and they just said, do you want to kind of like write for this person? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. But unfortunately, the week that it happened, I had a really bad accident. I broke my back and my arm in a horse riding accident, and the accident happened on the Thursday, and the actual recording session, which was like my dream recording session, was the following Wednesday. And I'm like that, I can't move, I can't do anything. I've got the phone call, I'm okay, I'll be fine, I'll be there. And I did. I managed to get to the studio in Richmond. I'm actually down in Kent. It was like literally seemed like a 50-hour drive from Kent because of the pain. But I got there, and we managed to get the vocals done, the arrangement and everything with all the in-house team, which was awesome. And yeah, we made it happen, which was great. So that's what I mean. You've got to be tenacious, even when the really awful things happen and people say, no, that's not going to happen. Just fight against it. You've got to keep kind of determined. Because I think the thing is with this industry, with the music industry, so many people have the moments, like you were saying, it's having them platforms for artists, and they say, no, that's not going to happen, that track's not good enough and whatever. Then a week later, another radio station's playing it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're playing it, we'll play it. And then it kind of has that knock-on effect. So you've just got to keep fighting on with your music. Never, ever. Sometimes if somebody says no, I think it means yes. I hear something different. I go away, have a think about it, and I always make sure that I go back. So don't ever say no to me.
No, exactly. Yeah, because people, you've got to keep asking them. You've got to keep pushing the door. It's with everything you're doing. It's a bit like this and stuff you're doing. You don't know. Sometimes you think, why am I bothering and why am I doing this stuff? But I do things because I enjoy doing them. I enjoy talking to people.
Sure.
I enjoy getting to know them, and just take it from there and see what happens. And do stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So
I went to my publishing company. They said no 3 times. They basically said, look, we like you, we like your material. However, we're just trying to find the right artist for you to write with. That's not really kind of happening at the moment. And we've got our roster full. So I'm like, oh God, okay. So I said, so what would you sign? They said, the most important thing with music is having that vehicle. I'm like, okay, so what vehicle do I need? And they're like, well, you need to have either the right artist to sing your songs, or you need to be in with the management company, networking, etc. And I'm like, okay. So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I was running a recording studio, had loads of different people coming through the door, and I started writing kind of like a comedy about kind of a recording studio, and I put it into a format for TV. Went back to my publisher and said, look, hey, got a vehicle for it. I'm going to write the soundtrack, and this is the TV show. They thought I was mad. And then I got one of the best people in the TV industry on board. And that's been in development now for, gosh, it's got to be coming up to about 6 years since we've been kind of like doing all the scripts.
Wow.
And I've had some great news in the last few weeks because it's really started to pick up again, because obviously with COVID, everything stopped.
Brilliant.
But that's what I mean. Sometimes I think people value the success of something. They see the pinnacle of that iceberg, that top part. They don't see what's going on underneath.
Yeah.
And that's so important. You need to rise above. So many people, even with the single I've had out recently, have gone, oh, it's so nice, you've actually achieved something a bit now, like pat on the head. And you're like, I've been doing this for years. I've had money from it. I've had recording studios. I've kind of worked in programming, I've worked at MD, all these things. But I think sometimes success is only kind of valued on if you're in the top 10 or you're number 1. And that isn't what it's all cracked up to be. It's about the journey and getting your music out to an audience that kind of connect and kind of, enjoy your music. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I like that. There's lots of information there. But it's when people say, oh, they were an overnight success. No, forget about all this other stuff you've been doing for years. But not only that, yourself. It's people's perception when they say, "Oh, it's good that you've got some success out of it." So what's your that's your measure of success? What about all this other stuff I've been doing for 15 years and I've been on the word, I've done this.
Ed Sheeran is a prime example. You kind of, everyone go, oh, it was overnight this night. If you actually listen to the backstory of what Ed was actually doing, and kind of like going out to LA and sleeping on kind of like, well, he did kind of choose some good celebrity sofas to sleep on, like Jamie Foxx, etc., and different people that took him like under their wing. But at the end of the day, it's massive what he actually achieved. And obviously world domination after kind of coming from roots of literally just as a busker, really. So it just shows you.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, and it is frustrating. It must be frustrating for a lot of people.
Absolutely,
because without knocking those programs, because we've got some great artists. Going back to one of the things you're writing for, you've got the X Factor and the Voice. I mean, for me, out of all of them, the Voice I think is brilliant, because I think it's the most genuine of all those types of shows, because I think they've got proper talent on there. I think sometimes the X Factor is more about the entertainment in it. Or let's get some drongo on who can't even sing, and we'll put them on stage just to have a giggle at them. I mean, that's awful.
Oh, it is awful, isn't it? That heckling. I think the only thing is I would say about the word, I absolutely love the word, and obviously working with kind of people from the word at the moment, I just feel that with the ITV X Factor concept, obviously we all know obviously artists from the Ollie Murs and all of the big artists from Little Mix and whatever that have come out of X Factor. I think where the Voice kind of struggles a little bit, it doesn't really have that end product of the artist kind of coming out. You have that moment of, wow, they're great. There's kind of an impact for a good couple of months. It's, oh, what happened to them? And then that's the whole thing. It's that journey. It's knowing that you've got kind of that kind of building thing. And obviously when you're in a machine of something like that, you've got the record company and the promotion people and everything, and hopefully a big deal to support it. It happens. But I think sometimes you get these independent artists that get put on that kind of platform, and it lasts for a very short period of time, and then you don't really hear much more unless they're doing something independent. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
To see how all these kind of TV shows are panning out now, and it's all going through transition and change, isn't it, as well at the moment? Because I think everyone's got a bit bored with the X Factor and how things are moving on.
Yeah.
And now we've got people in costumes coming out and singing in disguise.
I'm telling you that just.
You should do that, Kirk. You'd be great.
Yeah, I would. Well, I want to be in the.
You'd be octopus or like the wobbly head.
Yeah, and I can mime. I want to be in the TV show you're producing, but I think I think it has got a. I think it's got a lifespan, and I think when you do, because a friend of mine made a comment about the what is where they dress up. I forget what the mask. I mean, come on, do it. If you've got to start doing stuff like that, well, there's a problem in there. I mean, I said, what a load of rubbish. I'm not even watching it. Can't be bothered. And a friend of mine, he went, oh, you wouldn't want to interview one of the contestants then, would you? I says, well, I never said I'd want to interview one, but I just think that show is just like, what is the point of it? Do you know what I mean? What is the point?
It's so successful and it's got such demand. It's just, it's quite amazing, really. But
yeah, so I'm not ignoring you. I'm looking over there because the screen's here with the chat.
I thought your butler was coming with the champagne. Yeah. I could see your eye had gone across the room.
Never mind me with the butler. You with your fancy horse box, because even the people here are saying, I bet she's got a posh horse box. I bet she's not got an old.
I haven't. Ted's in the field now. That's it. I can't ride anymore. That's it. Kaput. The horse box is gone. It's been sold.
I ride motorcycles. I don't do horses.
Okay.
Has to have an engine on it. Engine for me.
Yeah, I know. Don't jump on wild animals.
No, exactly. That's another show. No. That's Naked and Afraid. That's another show that's on another TV show. I mean, that's another
I've
one.
Seen that one as well.
Yeah, got to get naked. There we go. Let's have a look. See if there's any questions here. I don't understand that. Janice says, does Melissa need lyrics? Why are you asking that question, Janice? I'm not understand what she means there. Maybe she's got
I need lyrics?
Yeah.
No, I've got too many books of lyrics. I'm trying to get rid of them myself.
So that like DJ Motto's been on Fab Bloke on a Bike. He's a rock guy. And he says, where do you draw your inspiration from for your songs?
Do you know what? I think I've been through so much, like everyone else, the last 2 years. It's been a bit tough over the last 10 years with my family. I've had like lots of people that have had ill health and lost kind of loved ones and things. And I think you go on these journeys through life. Not that it's all about kind of doom and gloom when you write, but I think sometimes that escapism of kind of writing in a book and kind of putting lyrics down, really, I think that's where most songwriters kind of go with their inspiration. It's something you've lived, something that you either need to release. I think when I was writing my track for the X Factor artist, it was like a therapy session with the A&R director. He kind of kept pushing and saying, they're great lyrics, but you could go a bit deeper, try this, try that. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And then all of a sudden I started to kind of realize what was coming out. And it was something that I'd buried a bit deep. And all of a sudden the connection with the song, it just all worked.
Wow.
So I do think songwriting is a bit like therapy as well, for sure.
I wish I could do that. I can't even do that. I've never tried really, but I don't think you could even do that. Do you know what I mean?
If somebody pushes you as well, if you actually get a book and you just start writing some things down, you'll surprise yourself. And I think we're all so busy rushing around all the time doing things. I don't think we always know ourselves. And I think if you can do that, it's quite a good experiment. You might be shocked what you find, Kirk.
I know.
Might be a #1 songwriter hiding in there.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I think there could be. You might actually be on Summerfest if you carry on at that rate.
I've already told them I'm going to be
on the main stage.
I am going to be on the main stage because the DJs.
I know you are. You're going to be stage diving. I can see it.
The DJs that are doing the Sunday are linking all the artists up. I know them. So I've already said I'm going to be on stage with them, and I've said to them I might get a tambourine and do my best bez.
You're going to, the triangle and the tambourine,
a
few maracas, you're going to be well away.
Exactly.
You'll be fine.
Exactly. I'm going to have a blast. I think we might have to play your track in a minute.
Okay.
Well, we'll play it now, I think. Let me just find it. Here we go. So, Dear Diary. So, what's the story behind the Dear Diary? Is this calling on some of the experience? Is that what you just talked about?
Do you know what? I wrote these, well, obviously the tracks and things. I was working with a publishing company at the time who I'm now re-signed back with, Peer Music, and I got introduced to Paul Mosel and Kevin Hughes, two prolific writers and producers. They worked with loads of huge people kind of over the years, and they gave me the opportunity to kind of go and work and vocal some of their tracks. And we went in the studio and we got on really, really well. And Dear Diary and a collective of 3 or 4 other songs were recorded. And it kind of started from there. So obviously Kevin had kind of done some of the lyrics, and we kind of sat down and went through everything. And it was just such a song that meant so much to the people in the room in different ways. It's about escapism. It's about finding kind of your true love. I think it touches on mental health, all different things. I think people can take their own kind of drawings from what they feel about the song. It is how you interpret, really. But for me, the song is about kind of that kind of escapism of kind of not coping day to day with life, knowing that kind of when you go to sleep, you can kind of solve problems, you're kind of in the moment. And at the same time, kind of finding true love, you know, is that person ever going to come along? And I think after COVID, so many of my friends that were single were in that kind of bubble of like, well, you're okay. You've got a partner, you've got a family. I'm literally on my own, and I had been on my own in isolation for the last 6 months. How do I meet somebody? I've just split up with somebody or whatever. You know, there was nowhere to go. So for me, I can relate to that song in lots of different ways, and I hope your listeners will too.
Excellent. Well, we'll play that. See what you think and what you hear in this track. So here we go. Dear Diary. Cue the VT, as they say. Here we go. We'll be right back.
Dear diary, what's a girl to do when all her hopes are fading? Dear diary, can I trust in you to keep my dreams alive? 'Cause one day someone will come my way, and you know exactly what to say. Till
Loving that. So with Melissa, hang on, let me just start that and listen to it on there. Malissa Whitehouse, that's fantastic. I'll just bring you back on screen so everyone can see you. I like that a lot. Janice has...
I think Shopify has
hang on a minute. Janice has said, the more I hear it, the more I like it. And that's what...
Thanks, Janice.
That's good, that, because sometimes tracks you get instantly, you listen to it and go, oh, love, do you know what I mean? Some build on you.
Grows on you.
But that, it's bugging me because it sounds like something else. I'm not saying you're copying it, but it sounds, no, it does, it's got a sound of something else, a big track, and I can't think who it is.
I've had a few people, because it was played out in the States and stuff, and they kept coming saying it's got like a Madonna influence.
Well, we've got, I'm dyslexic, which doesn't help, does it? We're reading. Okay. Diana, I hope I say it right, Kavazos, well, too many Z's and Y's and K's in it, Wozolski. Is that how you say it?
Diana.
She's tuning in from Chicago, Illinois, is it? So thanks very much for that. She actually said it does a touch of Madonna, but with Melissa's own style.
That's very nice. Thank you, Diana.
Yeah, and I get that. The vocals, yes, but the tune in the background reminds me of a track, and it's bugging me. I'll think about it later.
You need to let me know what it is.
Something like Massive Attack or something like that, I think it is.
Okay. Somebody said William Orbit the other day. It had William Orbit.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's a nice compliment too.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're liking that, go and find it and stream it and go and check out Melissa, because we like that. Great video as well. Simple but good.
Thank you so much, Kurt. Thank you. Yeah, it's on Spotify and it's on all platforms, so you can download on iTunes and Amazon. So
yeah, that's really good, because I think sometimes people overcomplicate videos, but I think sometimes when they're simple, they're probably the most difficult to produce as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I've been working with this lovely video producer, and literally that was in my head, and he's been brilliant working on that. So it's just great seeing the visuals that I thought about kind of come to life. So that's been that's the first one that I've actually worked on and directed with. Never done it before, completely new. So it was nice to kind of learn new kind of things. But yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good.
Another string to the bow, which is cool. So,
exactly. No, it's brilliant. So what else have you got? There was a question from before, I don't think I've asked it yet. So you've been in the industry for some time now, and you've been writing for other
years. Long time, yeah.
We're writing for other people and what have you. And then now you've decided to release. What's made you decide to start releasing your own work now? Is your rationale?
After COVID, I kind of went through a stage of kind of being able to organise myself, which was the first time after being in lockdown. I managed to go through my catalogues. I managed to look at things again with fresh energy, and I thought, you know what, I really want to get some of these songs out and share them. You know, they don't have to be number ones. It'd be great if they were, but it would just be nice to share my music finally. I've always kind of put my efforts in the last kind of 10 to 12 years into other acts, had my own recording studio, helping other people to kind of take their journeys forward.
Yeah.
And no one's getting any younger. And I just thought, you know, it would be great. And I think the industry's changed so much as well. It's just nice kind of having that independent thing where you can kind of upload on DistroKid, get your video sorted out, get it out there. You're in the driver's seat. It's none of this kind of going door to door trying to get a record deal. You can do it yourself. You can just get on with it. And then if you start doing well, the record company can come to you. Then you can ask for more money, hopefully.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
and that's good, that, because you've answered it sort of in my head. What should people do? And you're right. You need. I think if you're passionate about something, you've got something that you think's good, and a few other people around you, not necessarily your family, because they'll say it's good even if it's not.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
if you've got people that start to talk to you about what you're doing, and then why not? And put it out there, and people will discover you. I a little story from me, and it does work. You started off doing a podcasting about dyslexia, and tried to get on the BBC, not interested, and I thought, I'm going to pack this in, not interested. And they rung me one Friday and said, can you come in tomorrow and be on the show in the morning? It's about dyslexia. So brilliant. You never know who's listening, who's watching, who's going to see what you're producing.
And I think sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. I wish I had the knowledge when I was 18, 19, what I've got now, because I always thought it had to be someone else that had to help me and to make things happen. And I think what I've learned since, obviously not just keep going on about COVID and lockdown, but in these last 10 years for me, is that sometimes we always look for other people to help, a record company, a plugger, publisher, whatever. But you can make it happen yourself now, because all of the tools and everything are there. and they don't cost very much. If you've got the skill and you've got the talent, you can always kind of go into a recording studio. There's loads of places that are out there that basically offer free studio time as well, or you can come to an agreement with a producer. You might even get somebody that might sponsor you and say, yeah, I'd like to, I can't sing, or, you know, I love music, but I can't sing, but I'd like to be involved in a project. I'm very passionate about it. There are so many things out there as well, especially with kind of like the BBC platforms with Introducing and things like that. I've never gone that route, and obviously it's quite hard to get played on these kind of FM stations. And obviously when I spoke to the BBC locals and things like that, I thought, oh, you know, it's going to be hard to do. I literally sent my track within kind of like 48 hours. It was on the radio, which is brilliant. I wasn't expecting that. So it does work. So don't think just because it's a big organisation, don't be afraid of it. Just kind of be tenacious. Throw your demo in there and say, look, hey, I'm here. If you don't hear from them, knock on the door again and say, I'm still here.
Yeah. Or send them a massive box with a little disc, a huge. So was that, I didn't ask you about that earlier on, and it's been bugging me. So did you deliberately send a massive box so that they
was the biggest envelope that I could find. It must have been, this is not exact, most probably about 2.5 foot by about that big. It was massive, and it had like a bendy board thing, and literally the small cassette inside was about that big, which had literally gone into the corner of it. I think it cost me about 60p then going to post it, which was a lot then for what it was. And I remember waiting for the postman, and he said, that's not going to fit in the actual, you know, the post bag. And he went, I remember him putting it under his arm, and he went, the Word, what are you sending to the Word, love? And I just said, oh, it's nothing important. I walked away thinking, please. And that call came, and I remember it was a hot summer's day, and kind of the phone ringing and coming in from the garden, and music blaring, because my mum loved music. Music was always on. And then literally listening on the phone, put my hand, oh, right, from the Word, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, I'll be there, putting the phone down, going, yeah, did it worked. And that's what you've got to do. You've just got to keep pushing.
It's brilliant, that, because they're going to pick you up, aren't they? I know someone in business, and what he sometimes does, if he's trying to get hold of someone, he orders a Domino's pizza or whatever, and has it delivered to with a note in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because
can I give you my address, because I like pizza, so they can just send it to me.
I've got my own pizza. I've got my own pizza oven in garden that I built, so yeah.
So you have a butler and a pizza oven. There's no end to you. You're a dark horse. So I've only spoken to you today, and I'm starting to learn a lot more about Kirk.
Exactly, the butler. One day, hopefully, I'll have a butler. And, yeah, it'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? But I don't know. I don't know if I could get on with staff. I like to do stuff for me, but I'm not sure if I could cope with staff. Do you know what I mean?
You a bit of a control freak? I'm a control freak. I don't think I'd be very good with that.
Not really, but I don't know. They'd get under your feet. Wouldn't they? It's bad enough dealing with people like Eddie. Eddie's here tomorrow doing a show live from here because we're doing something together. So that'll be bad enough. So, right, we're going to lose the station in a minute, but we can stay on Mixcloud for a bit longer. But what we've been asking artists to do, if you don't mind, before you go, and we'll carry on a little bit, is we've been getting them to do little drops for us so we can play them on the station. Would you do one for us? So obviously you know what your name is. Hello, this is Malissa Whitehouse. You're listening to Duggystone Radio. Something like that. Make it your own. But anyway, put you on the spot. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, this is Malissa Whitehouse, and I am live and direct with Kirk on Duggystone Radio, and I hope you keep staying in tune.
Excellent. Wonderful. We'll get Eddie on that. Eddie will take that out and make it into a jingle for us, and that'll go on the station. But we will be rocking your track. Eddie's got he's here to do the new music show that he does on a Friday, 2:00 tomorrow, UK time. So he's going to be he's got to be playing that. And I'm sure he'll play it on his weekend shows, and it'll get run on some of our shows. I know what's going to happen. I do a show on a Friday called Freestyle Friday, where I have no prior knowledge of the tracks, and I have to counter the tracks whilst they're playing. Does that make sense? So we have I set a playlist up.
That's very clever.
So I set it up on a Thursday, and on a Friday morning I come in, log on and go, oh right, okay, there's an hour's worth of, oh god. So that whilst the track's playing, I have to counter it. So I know what's going to happen. We've been putting a lot of artists, and they started putting their artist tracks on Freestyle Friday. So I say your track is on tomorrow. How am I supposed to counter that? Do you know what I mean? It's not on, is it? So this
is why you need a butler, Kirk.
I do need a butler.
With his notepad, working it all out for you.
I do need a butler. In fact, you've got me thinking now. I'm going to have to.
I know. I'll redo that ad. If there is anyone out there who would like to be a butler to Kirk, please contact the station.
One day, yeah.
And he'll pay you in pizza.
Yeah, definitely pizzas, and we're fond of jammy dodgers. We have a little thing about that.
I know. I saw the campaign going. I hope there's no crumbs in the studio today.
Oh, look, you see, they came through the post the other day. I got a delivery last week. I thought, what's this? 6 packets of jammy dodgers that came from Studio One.
Wow.
Yeah, so there
Someone
you go.
loves you. That's brilliant.
I know, it was Eddie that.
Old McVitie's. Brilliant.
But I like the fact that just before the last bit you're talking about, you gave her a lot of tips and advice to people about what they should do, which I appreciate that, because there'll be a lot of people out there that want to do stuff. Some people have got the ability, have got the support, but there'll be other people that just need that little push to get them. Get them going, you know, and we've one of our success stories is Bree Hopkins, who we started playing on the station, and she's gone off and she's released her first. She's gone into the studio and done her album. It's something she's wanted to do for years. So
that's amazing.
That if nothing else, that for me, we've ticked the box on that one. So
absolutely, yeah, no, that's so cool.
So are you appearing anywhere before we go? Where can people get hold of you, or is there anything you're working on that they should be aware of?
Well, I've just started working on a dance track with a well-known DJ, but that's a little bit under wraps at the moment. But I'm literally, I think we're about 2-3 weeks away from that being wrapped up and finished. So hopefully we'll have a good tune out for the summer months, which will be good.
Excellent. We do.
So, I got the opportunity to top line on that about 3 weeks ago, and it's a corker. So I think the publisher will decide, obviously, if it's going to be for me or if it's going to go to another artist. But I hope I get the chance to do it, because I love it. You'll love it too, Kirk.
I do. I love
you earlier on doing your thing, and you'll be in the zone with it for sure.
Definitely send it to us. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Seriously, it has.
Thank you.
I could imagine we could talk for hours, because you've got a lot of interesting stories, and you're easy to talk to. You can tell you've got experience in talking to people and doing what you're doing. So it's
thank you.
Makes my job very easy. Or easier. Can't make people think it's dead easy.
But anytime, any advice, any support, any artists out there that you've got that need any advice or pointers for things, I don't know everything, but I do have a good kind of knowledge of certain things, and always out to listen to new artists and things. I think when I was first starting out, that was what was really hard, because no one in my family was involved with the music industry. It's knowing sometimes where to start, and there's so many people that are so talented that are kind of hidden in their bedrooms or in the bathroom singing and whatever, and they just wouldn't know the first thing of how to kind of take the right steps. And it is quite simple, but it's simple when you know how. It's just sharing that information.
Wonderful. Well, where can people get hold of you? Is it best getting you on Twitter or Facebook? Or...
Yeah, Twitter. Definitely on my Twitter platform. So Malissa Whitehouse one. So if you head over there, and obviously melissawhitehouse.com, and you can check out obviously the single Dear Diary. That's obviously on Spotify, Amazon, and iTunes. So I'm out and about, so come and say hello.
Excellent. And this, if people are watching this will be on YouTube next, and it'll also be we'll create a blog for it as well, so we'll put the links into your website and all the rest of it. But I'm going to let you get on with your day, because it looks like, I don't know what you're going to be cooking, but I'm sure it's going to be
I'm going to bake you a cake. I'm going to send you a cake.
I
can't bake, really.
I know.
I'm not that good.
It's a nightmare, because I'm... Don't put a cake in front of me, because it won't last. Do you know what I mean?
Will it not last?
No, just got to keep eating the cake, and it's no good, because I'm trying to trim up a bit, and it's not good. The cake.
It's not good when you're sitting down for long periods of time. We'll put you on an exercise bike next time when you're doing your show. You just eat the cake at the same time. You'll be fine.
I could do that. I've been out and about.
It will work. It will do. Yeah. It'd be great.
Excellent. Well, thanks.
Thank you so much for having me on.
No, it's been a pleasure, and I've been really enjoyed getting to know you and learning a lot about you. Please keep in touch. Success with the track and whatever else you're doing in the future. Don't forget to send us anything that's coming out, the dance track, and
absolutely
be more than happy to chat with you again on one of the shows.
Good. We'll hopefully see you at Summerfest.
Oh yeah,
you do your stage dive.
I'll be all over that. Don't worry about that. But anyway, if you're on Mixcloud, thanks very much for joining us.
Take care. Thanks,
Speak to you soon. Cheers.
Bye.